Hello. I'm on number 6 now. Vlog number 6. 6th date. Okay, so first of all, this is another experiment. I have been using a DSLR. I've had this camera for a while. I lost the power cord to charge it because I'm a hot mess. And I lose everything. My job, my fellowship, my will to live. We're gonna have a coffee date today instead of a lunch date. Get excited about it. CBD Infused Coffee. You could get it from Charlotte's Web, and I'll put the link below. But CBD has a lot of therapeutic properties to it. Doesn't necessarily get you baked like THC does. There's no hallucinogenic properties, but there's a lot of anti-inflammatory and anxiolytic, muscle relaxant kind of stuff going on. There's a bunch of different cannabinoids in the marijuana plant. The human body has endogenous, like, cannabinoid receptors within the body. And if you go back on the evolutionary trail, cannabinoid receptors are present on sea squirts. That system was integrated into physiology of living creatures relatively far back in the evolutionary line. So it's a very primitive biochemical system. Hello? Hi. Hi, son. No, I have not, and you're not allowed to watch it. It's rated R. It's too violent. Yeah, but it's too bloody. Too much blood. Alright? Love you. Bye. That was my son. He's at my mother's house. The endogenous cannabinoid system is, I feel like it has I'm not going to say that marijuana and cannabis is the miracle drug and it can cure everything. That's ridiculous. There's no such thing as a miracle drug. Nothing can cure everything. And from a pharmacological perspective, there's probably a lot of treatment avenues available by exploiting this plant material. So keeping it illegal is really hobbling our innovation in terms of pharmaceutical applications. Because if it has a psychoactive property, right, it's probably gonna be beneficial in some way. You just have to learn how to channel it and control it. This is true for everything. I'm getting amped here, but I get a little frustrated with this puritanical culture of prohibition. When you're talking about drug use as a moral failing, and Carrie Fisher comes to mind because she was in the news again, unfortunately. Okay. You know why people take drugs? It's not because of a moral failing. It's not because they suck. It's not because they're a lesser human being. Like, unless you're creating a social system that provides the support structures to allow children to have the space and safety to recover from the adverse experiences that they will inevitably go through and be exposed to. Anything that you do after that fact, after that person has reached adulthood, is like just addressing the symptoms. I don't even know where I'm going with that. The brain's function is to filter out information for the most part. You're taking in a lot of stuff from your sensory organs. Then your brain kind of integrates all that information into a coherent story, a narrative. Because human beings are designed to write stories. We create stories. That's what we do. We get information from out here, and we make it into a story. It's not really based on logic. It's not based on objective fact or truth. The graph of an exponential curve. You can get very, very close to the axis, almost intersecting it, but you can never intersect it. You will never intersect that axis of objectiveness because you're stuck inside of this first-person perspective in a brain that perceives time in a linear fashion, and you have a very limited subset of information accessible to yourself. There's no way for anybody to be objective. First person perspective equals bias. My life continues to be a dumpster fire. Not a lot of good news. I share about it pretty openly on my Facebook page and my social media in general, and I'll tell you why. I have a reason. The poison of perfection. Can't pretend that everything's happy all the time, because it's not. The world is a shitty place. A lot of bad stuff happens. Talking about the shitty things that happen to you isn't being negative. It's not. And if shitty things continually happen to you, you're not focusing on the negative if you talk about it. It's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that negative things happen. Bad stuff. Painful stuff. That you feel icky. I mean, success stories are great. Don't get me wrong. But you're not going to learn anything. You're going to learn stuff from reading somebody struggling through shit. And it feels uncomfortable. If it feels uncomfortable, that's probably a good thing. You know, if it hurts, don't do it. But if it makes you sore, uncomfortable, or confront things that you might not necessarily have chosen to do, that's a good thing. That's how you grow. Despite my continued dumpster fire of a life, I am somehow still cheerful. I mean, I cry. God, for the last 2 days, I don't have good news to share. There's no reason for me to be, like, in a good mood. But, you know, right now, I'm alive and it's okay. Thank you for joining me. I didn't even finish my coffee because I talked too much. Please subscribe. I put out new vlogs every Friday.